years ago when I bought the tractor this wide front end came off of, I had to put one tie rod end on it, and this is the one I put on. It's greasable. The rest of them still aren't too bad, but they are not greasable. However, they've got this little shoulder on them right here that looks like it ought to be a place for a grease zerk. So I'm going to find out whether it is or not. I'm going to try and drill and tap and put a grease zerk on these tie rod ends so that hopefully they'll last me the rest of my life. So we'll find out how that works. And now the moment of truth. And there it comes. All right. I have greasable tie rod ends now. I'm back to work on my WD45 this morning. I'm in the barn. I've got my pellet stove fired up. It's comfortable in here, even though it's kind of chilly outside. It's been pretty chilly around here the last few days. I'm putting some of the small bits back on right now. The smaller stuff I've been painting over in my basement because it's warm over there all the time, and it's been kind of chilly around here the last few days, like I said. I'm getting some of that stuff put on. I've got a couple of new hydraulic lines to go to the rams on my lift arms, even though I am not putting a snap coupler on this tractor. I'm still going to have my lift arms and all reassembled and on here, just in case I do need them sometime. I've got a new gasket there for the belt pulley, a new cork gasket, so that doesn't leak. I'm not going to put a belt pulley on this tractor. I'm just going to put the plug in place on it. So I'm getting ready pretty soon to put the frame rails on it and my gearbox. Now the gearbox here, I've had that apart, cleaned it all up, put it all back together. The seals and all the bearings look pretty good in that. And when I put that back together, instead of putting 80W90 or 8140 in it, I put a few tubes of this John Deere cornhead grease. I happen to have a few tubes of that around because we used to have a New Idea disc vine around here, and that's what the gearboxes took on that. It's grease, but it is soft enough that it flows and will actually flow into bearings and gears and keep them lubricated. So that's what I decided to use on my gearbox. So I'm going to keep going on this thing. I'm not going to video myself actually doing the work because I don't work very fast anymore. If I had to make a living turning wrenches on flat rate these days, I'd starve. But anyway, I'm going to keep plugging away at this project here today. Okay, I've got the frame rails and the steering gearbox and a few other things bolted on this thing. I've got my stand moved over to the other side here, and I've also got it blocked up underneath the steering gearbox. So, boy, this thing, even though I had it covered up, it gets dusty in here. But of course, this is a barn, and there's a hay mow up there with hay in it, so it's kind of inevitable. But anyway, I've got this done. Now it's back to the boring cleaning and painting stuff. I need to get the rest of my front axle cleaned up and painted. I'll probably take this stuff over to the basement of my house. Like I said, it's warm over there, so it does a little bit of job of painting. So yeah, maybe I'll get some more stuff on this thing next week, hopefully. I'd really like to spend about 3 or 4 solid days working on this thing, but that doesn't seem to be how things pan out for me. But anyway, we'll see what happens next week. Until then, everyone stay safe, be kind to each other, and we'll see you later.